Hey folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator Dustin Howes, spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me here on LinkedIn Live every Thursday at noon. Stop on by and join me and a guest. My guest today, Lucas. He is the founder of Go Loot and joining us today to talk performance marketing. Welcome to the Nerdatorium, Lucas.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, Dustin.
You got it. I met you briefly at ASW. We were introduced by a guy named Mikey. What's Mikey's last name?
Michael Yak. Yeah.
Michael Yak. Mikey Yak, who's a character in himself, but he like pointed me and it made me introduce myself to you because he said this kid's going places. He's really smart. He's super sharp and really out there. You got to have him on your podcast. And I said, if you think it's a good idea, Mikey, absolutely, let's do it. So here we are today. So tell us about you and your story.
Absolutely. Shout out to Mikey for making this happen. And he's a very close friend and a part of that story that you and I are going to cover today. So, well, my name is Lucas. I was born and raised in Montreal, a French speaking family. I now live in Toronto and have the pleasure of leading the team at Go Loot from Toronto. There's a few of us here, most of us in Montreal, and a few of us around the United States, Chicago, Boston, New York. Fast growing team as well that's hiring. So if you see any opportunities on our LinkedIn, of course, feel free to reach out. My story, although I'm only 23 years old, is about a decade long story already of advertising and technology. I was one of those weirdos that at the age of 12 or 13 years old was already particularly interested in advertising, mainly from a technological standpoint. I reversed engineered my way into advertising, honestly, Dustin. I developed an interest for coding and software very early on, which brought me at first to mobile games. Probably
Yep.
the only product I understood really well as a preteen or early teenager, and wanted to be able to build my own. I was 15 or 16 years old when Pokemon Go came out, which was a significant moment for mobile gaming. It was a whole new world of possibilities with augmented reality and various innovations
Yeah.
that this game brought to market. And so I thought I could also be a game developer. And by becoming a game developer by trade and playing around with different game engines like Unity and whatever, I eventually came across advertising. It's like the only way to make money if you're a game developer. It's the only source of monetization that's reliable because getting people to pay on these games is very difficult. And so I got my hands really young on the SDKs of Unity Ads and Google AdMob and some of the major ad products we don't really talk about in affiliate marketing, although AppLovin has been making some waves in performance marketing recently. We mainly don't hear about their platforms, but nonetheless, they are a big part of the advertising industry. And that's my start in advertising as a game developer. So sitting on the publisher side, using ad products to monetize my admittedly very small audiences, but nonetheless trying to optimize the revenue there through ads. And I furthered my knowledge and expertise over the years as I was still in school, leading to the point where around the age of 17 or 18 years old, I could offer consulting services to other game studios and help them
Mm.
monetize if more effectively and more efficiently. And so I was talking to a bunch of game developers. I got very made some good friends at Ubisoft Montreal that were working on some pretty large IPs on the mobile side. And at some point in time, I decided that I wanted to start a company that would help mobile game publishers. And this is the early days of Go Loot. I'll get to what we're doing today, but help at first mobile game publishers launch a performance marketing advertising division or advertising product, which was a big gap in the market and still is a big gap today. Most of these game companies are very good at advertising other games or they're very good at awareness. But when it
Mm.
comes to affiliate and performance, they have little to no offering. And so my original idea was to become the destination for performance advertising in that space. And I realized really quickly that games were going to be hard to scale, very hard to make those partnerships happen. And so around 2020, we pivoted the business model to support content publishers and media publications.
Okay.
Again, a sort of like publisher that relies heavily on advertising to make money, struggles in its offering and performance. They're very good at awareness, but that's pretty much the end of that. They lack proper ad formats, proper pricing, proper integration, standardization, and data to really be an effective performance partner and compete with search and social. And so I thought my opportunity in gaming might be more sizable in the media space. I could deal with publishers that maybe are a bit more flexible, easier to work with than the game studios. And I pivoted the company in early 2020. At that point, we decided that it was a good time to try and raise money. And so we managed to close a $1.85 million round of financing. I dropped out of school and I started building the company that Goloot is today, almost 5 years ago.
Okay.
So from a gaming background, discovering advertising, making my way into media, and then taking the tech venture startup world by the horns and raising money and building my own company is pretty much a summary of my story.
Okay, beautiful, man. A lot of things there interesting enough. I see people playing Pokemon Go still. Like
That's
15
fascinating.
years
Yeah.
later, like I see a group of people, 100 people somewhere that they're not supposed to be, and like that's still a thing. It's incredible. That's some longevity in that game. Incredible. And the mobile gaming industry is very unique in the terms of just watching my own children play these games and understand how to exit out of marketing ads, but are still getting targeted every single game that they're playing is very unique, but a good way to get out of it. So Galoot sounds like the programmatic solution that you guys are creating and working for brands. How do you guys get started with brands for your tool?
Yeah. So we can get into the Goloot value proposition today, right? Moving away from gaming into media publication, the ambition and the vision for the company was to create an advertising network for
Okay.
advertisers, for agencies that would offer the same scale, the same simplicity, the same performance, and the same data as what you would find in programmatic awareness or what you would find on search and social, but bring that to performance on the open web. And so Goluda is a multifaceted solution and technology, obviously, to fix that problem. There's more than one product. We start with a network of publishers. There's about
Okay.
150 different publishers on the Golude network today, most of which are content platforms, enterprise media publications like US News. But we also expand our offering to newsletters, loyalty sites, communities of shoppers. Some coupon websites is a rare persona, but they still exist on the network. And we aggregate all of these publishers into one beautiful network that brands and agencies can leverage to launch a marketing campaign.
Okay.
These publishers are typically equipped with our ad formats. So we have our own set of proprietary ad units that we over the years developed and got IAB approved, which is a whole process. So they become an integral part of a publisher's tech stack. And so these ad formats really specialize in pushing offers, discounts, and promotions via the publisher's content. We don't own any of these publishers. We don't own their content. We don't produce their content, but we give them a layer of ad products that they can integrate in their content. And then we can run offers, we can run different creatives for brands, we can help them achieve their performance goals at scale across the network using, of course, these ad formats. We also leverage our publisher relationships to do much more than run format-based campaigns. We will try to do something native or content-driven, perhaps include ourselves in the publisher's newsletters, perhaps have the publishers write some articles to boost certain campaigns. We really work hand in hand with our network of publishers that's very curated to KPIs. And then the brand looking at a platform where, to benefit from this network, they can come on, create a Goloot account, have an account manager to support them. They set up a campaign. We typically bill advertisers on a cost per click or a cost per lead, but they also articulate to us what their conversion rate goals are, what their CPA targets are, what their ROAS targets are, whatever the secondary KPI, as we call it, or quite frankly, we call it secondary, but it always ends up being the main KPI, the sales, the performance is. And you provide one set of assets that are super simple creatives, one tracking link, and we integrate with any and all affiliate network or other tracking platform for you.
Right.
And then your campaign will be deployed at scale across all these publishers. So that's where you're really feeling the breadth of the value proposition. You're seeing so much scale, so many partnerships deployed at once, almost in a programmatic fashion, but all of them optimizing for a specific performance outcome on performance pricing, which effectively does not exist on the open internet. There's a huge gap there in this large performance industry where publishers typically operate as walled gardens. They don't offer themselves from a performance standpoint to brands programmatically. They've just always operated as like a lone wolf. But that has prevented the industry from scaling. It's prevented the industry from being adopted by mid-market agencies and even large enterprise agencies. It's prevented many media buyers from finding these publishers attractive, given the lack of scale, the lack of data, the lack of standardization. So we come in as a great partner to help these publishers make more money and these brands find more scale. So yeah, that's essentially what our company and platform does. Obviously, over the years, it has grown so much. It's honestly baffles me and impresses me what our team has been able to do in such a short period of time. That's us, my friend.
I'm really impressed. I love any product that is bringing publications that may not be traditionally into affiliate and like acquiring them into to join the party. And working on a CPC and a CPL can be traditionally a little bit more dangerous just because you aren't acquiring a sale necessarily, but if you have the transparency and visibility as a brand to see everything that's going on, you can make those decisions a lot easier. And it sounds like you guys have a really cool
Yeah.
process in place working with hundreds of publishers in the space. Is there any particular brands or products that are a really good fit for this type of advertising?
Absolutely. Yeah. I can cover that question. I want to come back really quickly to the
Sure.
point you made, which I think is so fair and relevant about CPC pricing being a little bit dangerous. The irony in all of this is that the any advertiser marketer who has an affiliate line of business inevitably advertises on search and inevitably advertises in
Sure.
social. And the proportion of media dollars going towards affiliate performance outside of search and social is about 25% on average of a brand's envelope, right? All the money they have to spend on advertising, 25% and less is going towards search and it's going towards the open web and affiliate. And 75% typically ends up in search and social. So the majority of a brand's dollars are comfortably being spent on CPM pricing that's extremely volatile
Hmm.
and provides no guarantee whatsoever of performance. The only thing you have when buying Facebook ads, now known as Meta ads or TikTok ads, is a series of success stories with them that provides you some level of comfort that your money is going to return sales. You have case studies from other companies achieving similar outcomes that make you confident you're going to be able to do the same. And same for CPC, but there is no guarantee. And very comfortable living with that in these large monopolistic proven channels. But when it comes to new vendors, suddenly there's a hesitation. And that's why we try to like break the mold for advertisers. Look, CPC pricing is a lot more fair to publishers who are ultimately pushing your media and your advertising to their audience. It makes a lot more sense than CPA and affiliate. It's the reason why the affiliate industry has suddenly become more of a flat fee industry, especially with content. It's because publishers need to be able to afford producing content that's high quality and giving brands more just sales as a benefit. CPC pricing is a really good middle ground, but we Performance Network are just like Facebook and Google. We even go as far as giving the right brands, and that's a good segue to your question, giving the right brands guaranteed ROAS
Okay.
or guaranteed CPA performance, right? So if they buy media with us on a CPC, they want to run a test, we are going to give these partners a guaranteed conversion rate or a guaranteed metric of performance so they don't have to bite the bullet and prepare for the worst. We understand the
Okay.
burden, but I think it's an interesting conversation to reframe because I see this hesitation often. I see this labeling of CPC as being riskier, but the majority of
Mhm.
dollars are being spent, in my opinion, and obviously not optimized on CPM and CPC every day on the large platforms. So that's funny enough. And the right brands that are a good fit for GoLoot, look, we support clients like SiriusXM and have been for years. Crocs, Foot Locker, Nike, L'Oreal, Liberty Mutual, Hartford Insurance, TikTok for Business, and so many more. We have a B2B and consumer arm of business. Our consumer performance arm of business is really good for ubiquitous consumer products, fashion, beauty, retail, home improvement, insurance, subscription services, and beyond. We try to stay away from certain supplements. Obviously, no firearms. There's no alcohol on the network. There is no CBD. There is no sexual wellness. There's a lot of categories that are maybe a little bit less immoral, if that's the right way to put it. I don't want to say that. Maybe it's not
I mean,
immoral.
it's a
Depends on
gray
your
area, no
perspective.
doubt. Sure.
I'm Canadian. Most of these things are legal here. Don't get me wrong, but it's just where our publishers don't feel like brand safety is at the highest standard. We try to stay away from these
Okay.
categories, and we do extremely well within the main large consumer categories, which extends to insurance and financial services. Is maybe like the realm or the extent or the limit of where we perform very well. And then on the B2B front, we mainly have a small and medium business audience. We do not do enterprise sales or softwares that are incredibly expensive. Most of our B2B partners are self-serve SaaS companies that have great products for small and medium businesses, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and anything in between. Our biggest clients to get a profile would be like a Click or a TikTok for Business or a Xero accounting or even Sage, where we support them for their cloud accounting software. That's $15 a month. Catered products are where we excel on the B2B front, nothing enterprise. These are the kind of brands that we typically work with, Dustin.
Excellent. Very interesting concept about guarantee with ROI, and that's designed to help attack this issue of brands being scared of the CPC concept and the CPL. Tell us a little bit more about that guarantee and how you came up with that concept.
I've seen the industry. I've only been dealing with affiliates and as an advertising, given that we are mid-funnel CPC and EL, we deal with more just the affiliates. We sell campaigns to Omnicom, to Dentsu, to advertising agencies that will buy on search and social and use this as an alternative. So it's not just affiliate. But within the affiliate industry, I've seen an interesting change years over the last 5 years, I would say. I think brands are becoming far more sensitive to the integrity of their affiliate program and the quality and incrementality required to run an effective affiliate program. With that came an obsession for content, an obsession for influencer programs, and brands moving away from browser extension or moving away from coupon and loyalty. It's getting a little bit more sophisticated in affiliate marketing and a bit more elevated from an advertising experience standpoint. And so as that transition was happening, I saw pricing evolve. Flat fee became a much bigger commodity. You just have to go to CJU or Rakuten Optimism and listen to the publisher spotlights and the way they talk. It's interesting to see that most of the rate cards end with flat fees now. And it's a new denominator in the industry, and that's part of the economics of affiliate. And so I think now we're getting to an age where CPC is actually a better middle ground for both brands and publishers. It's not as steep as a flat fee, provides a little bit more of a performance-driven outcome, and allows publishers to benefit from all the things they want to benefit from and provide the sufficient that the affiliate expect without working only on commission. So more programs on Impact are running offers now, not just CPA offers. We're seeing CJ and Rakuten and other networks launch CPC products. CA Leads is becoming a faster growing division of CJ, where they have an entire team dedicated to just lead generation. I think Impact is trying to move as well into lead gen. There's a lot of interesting movement happening in the industry where we're seeing CPC and CPA place of sophistication first, and then us as affiliates, dabbing right and left with different pricing to try to understand that, yeah, maybe CPC is actually the better middle ground. Now, how we came up with this guarantee is as we were going through all of this, we realized that brands were not, even if we were articulating to them, but you're spending so much money on Google search and I can guarantee you ROAS is not as consistent as you make it seem to be. Why don't you give us 5% of your search budget, 1% of your search budget, 0.5% of your search budget to test it out 1 month and see if we're driving any incrementality? That wasn't enough. My argument wasn't compelling enough. And so we realized, look, we're confident in our ability to drive sales. If we have certain parameters where advertisers are reputable and well-known, where we get reliable full funnel visibility as the publisher, where we get an attractive offer for our audience because our audience is very promotion sensitive, there's no reason why we can't deliver the services we promise. And it got to a point where, as I was studying data, when certain patterns were in place with near certainty, we were achieving positive ROAS. And so my CMO, Pierce, and I sat down and said, why don't we market our products as guaranteed drivers of results should you meet the variables that we need, knowing that we can say with near certainty that you will get returns on our network if you meet certain criteria. It came from an approach of trying to make the product more appealing, more attractive, get brands to jump the fence and jump the gun and get started with us, and not be afraid of CPC, but then also understanding our data, understanding patterns, and seeing that with specific information and assets, we really had a miracle formula. And it's not that crazy of a formula. It's just a good brand, a good offer, and the good audience will almost without fail drive good results. And we just applied that at scale and standardized it in our pricing, basically. I can tell you how the mechanics work from a guaranteed ROAS standpoint, but I think you get the gist of it. Yeah.
I think you nailed it there. I'm going to take some time to talk about our sponsor of the day, and that is Moonpool. Let me pull up a picture of what Moonpool is all about. It is, I'm pulling a moon out of a box. Oh, these guys are outstanding. If you are struggling out there with affiliate tracking issues and miscommissions, Moonpool is that affiliate marketing intelligence that you're looking for. So this is not just making your affiliate program look good, but you're actually helping out the publishers by finding misclicks and opportunities for them to acquire the sales and get credit for them. Stop losing money on broken affiliate links with Moonpool's precious and precise tracking capabilities. You'll be able to build stronger partnerships, resolve commission disputes instantly, and optimize your affiliate program like never before. Give them a look. Go to dustinhowes.com/moonpool and go support this channel. All right, let's switch gears into something that's not talked about enough, but it is very interesting for you being so young. Ageism, and almost the reverse side of ageism. You are a young entrepreneur out there in this industry of veterans that are traditionally talking at conferences. I think for me, I'm approaching the age of this guy might be out of touch, but I feel like I'm at the top of my game with 15 years experience and I'm still sharp as can be. But if you get to 60 years old, people kind of look at you a little bit differently, like not hiring you because you might be out of touch. But the reverse is happening for you. Like when I came onto a call, I look at this young, bright kid talking about performance marketing, and I instantly have this ambition inside me is this guy doesn't know enough. He's too young to be knowing enough. How do you fight that
Yeah,
and combat that every conversation that you have out there?
it's a great question. And whether you're 60 years old or 23 years old, proof is in the pudding, right? And there's an inevitable variable here that I don't control, which is I haven't had as much time as most of you, if not all of you, to learn about affiliate marketing or performance marketing or technology and anything surrounding our industry. I can say I have spent an outrageous amount of hours over the last already 10 years of my life coding and developing products in the advertising space. I started extremely young and I was very fortunate to have parents that supported me in that endeavor. Nonetheless, I don't have the expertise that many other people do, but I think to some degree might have way more exposure than 60-year-olds out there, given the sheer commitment, passion, and determination I've had over the last 10 years in building this company. I have spent most of the waking hours of my life taking little to no vacations, making myself a very good marketer.
Okay.
And that can beat many people that have maybe a 10-year edge on me or sticking to a 9 to 5 schedule. So there's that, right? I don't judge age, whether it's for my hires, my partners, my mentors. I look for knowledge. I look for profound thought that's provoking and helps me grow as an individual. And if I find you interesting, age is just a number, quite frankly. Now, I told you earlier when we were having conversations, Dustin, I find like my age has been an incredible asset for the company. It's
All right.
obviously attracted some media attention. It's attracted some attention in the industry. I've also found that some of the veterans have just been more welcoming
Hmm.
in supporting me and feeling like there's a duty and an obligation to help the next generation of affiliates, help the next generation of entrepreneurs build their products and optimize and learn from the mistakes that the veterans have made. I owe a large part of my success to Mike Yak. I speak to Mikey every single day.
Hmm.
Every day we have a 6 o'clock religious call. He even calls me on weekends. Mikey and I have a daily call, and without someone like him around me and so many others, none of this would have been possible. I've had Adam Weiss, who's now the president of AWIN, consult for Golud for a few months back in 2024. Paresh and I met very early on in my career. I was in Montreal. So Paresh is obviously another Montrealer back when OPM Pros was still a thing. He took me under his wing, and right away, I just felt such warmth and such support, given that I was a 23 years old guy trying to achieve things back then, maybe 18 or 19. I had large ambitions. I had a great work ethic, and these people respected it tremendously. Jennifer Goodwin, so many that I could mention that are affiliate legends in their own capacity. And I don't think I would have had the same service and the same support had I been a 60-year-old man with an acquired career. I think most people would have looked at me like, why do you not know this by now? You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like, why do you need me? Why are you not richer, more successful, smarter, and more knowledgeable than me? So being so young has given me such a great support system. And it is a large part of Golud's story, all these individual contributors. And so I owe a lot to my age. Now, I understand again the limitations. I think my leadership style has been very much a flat structure as opposed to a pyramid in our team where I look at leadership as like how the Roman Empire was built and scaled, where every road leads to Rome, but Rome acts as like an epicenter for leadership, not at the top of the hierarchy, imposing its views and its ideologies. It's the same for me. So I think most departments, if not all departments, report back to me, like all roads lead to Rome. But I'm very good at certain things for the company, and I outsource to our employees, to our talent, many other things, and I trust them that altogether we will build a phenomenal company, and it's proven to be the right approach. I don't know if my leadership style is only applicable if you're 23. I
Hmm.
think there's a good thought to be made there if you're a 40 years old entrepreneur or CEO to say, I'll own the things I'm incredibly good at. I'll hire smart people so they can tell me what to do with the things I'm really not good at.
Yeah.
And I'll build a leadership structure that empowers those people to shine in their knowledge and their talent, reporting back into Rome, reporting back into my function as CEO every other day. So I've had to make some adjustments. I had to be lucid and humble. I had to pull on mentors because I was 23, but it came with a massive amount of benefits,
Yeah.
as you can only imagine, Dustin. Yeah.
Awesome. I love the positive spin on it. Well, one thing I'd love to know about is like, how are you picking these mentors and how are you asking them or are you paying for these mentors? Like, well, how do you go about finding the mentor for you in this scenario?
Yeah, so there's two things, right? For me, everybody is a mentor in some capacity. I have doctors and lawyers that are either investors as angels in the company or trusted advisors. There's a lot to learn from everybody. I've always viewed entrepreneurship not as a job, but as a skill, not as a job, but as like a personality trait or an asset. It's something that most people or maybe won't develop, but a few people I find have really developed well, whether they are artists, doctors, lawyers, athletes, creatives. You can find that entrepreneurial spirit, that entrepreneurial trait, and the determination and the work ethic that is required to be an entrepreneur in so many people. So I try to pull from a large range of individuals, not just expert affiliate marketers, to try to again diversify my knowledge. So my mentors are wide and broad, and my approach to mentorship has always been to try to find a win-win accommodation. You mentioned monetary compensation. It doesn't have to be just that, but I don't believe in working for free. And
Hmm.
I quite frankly, I wouldn't be working for free myself either. Most of my mentors, I have made sure that after the initial call, there's always a path to us both winning in a transaction, whether it is having them on a retainer, whether it's having them on a referral agreement so that we can have mutual wins, whether it's giving them some equity as an upside in my company so they can join and buy in the story. A win-win approach has been super important to me. And I'm pretty sure that if you talk to everybody that I've had the pleasure of considering friends and mentors, some of the names I mentioned today, everybody found their own win with GoLoot. Everybody found their own way to further their career and further their position through us. So it's been a huge part of how I've approached mentoring. Win-win transaction. It's not just a one-way street. And it's paid off because we managed to get some of the biggest and best names in the industry around us. Yeah.
Outstanding. Awesome. Lucas, appreciate your time today. Thank you for hanging out and explaining like your process in the performance and programmatic world. This has been great. Tell us how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, first of all. Congratulations on the podcast, the success, the growth over the years. Again, there's so much entrepreneurial spirit in what you do. It's incredibly inspiring. And I hope that I can continue learning from you over the years, speaking of
Thank you.
mentorship. So thank
Appreciate
you
it.
again for having me on this episode. Thank you for people that have tuned in and taken a bit of time to listen to my story. You can find me on most social media platforms. Obviously, the most professional one to reach me would be LinkedIn. You can try me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. But I think the best way to get a hold of me in a professional context would likely be LinkedIn, whether by reaching out to our page or reaching out to me via my profile. My email address is also in my profile. Any genuine outreach, whether it's a publisher, an agency, a brand, I will happily take the call. We can chat about all things affiliate performance marketing and see if there are things we can all do together. So my LinkedIn profile is the best way to reach me. My email is in there as well if you don't want to DM me on LinkedIn. And of course, you can follow our GoLoot page. We're posting a ton of cool, fun, engaging content there, including job opportunities because we are hiring on the sales side, on the product side, and everywhere else. It's a great place to stay in touch with our story and our progress at GoLoot.
Outstanding. All right, Lucas, thanks for joining us. And for those tuning in,